My family had been kind of doing it since back in the day. My dad was a, old hippie, so he ended up kind of being in it, growing a little bit here and there. And as I got older, it was the time where I hit high school and it was like, hey, I'm gonna get high. And he's like, well, why don't we talk about that? And so it kind of led me on. Medicinal was coming around as of the early 90s in California. I had a lot of friends out there, so I kind of was with the whole beginning of the medicinal industry. The first few years was an uphill battle, but I've since coming to Colorado, met some great people, met some really good people in California too, got some really good strains out there, but the quality of growing is just above and beyond out here. People really love the plants, and I don't know if it has anything to do with they're mile high, so we're a little closer to the sun. Maybe the trichomes are a little bit better out here, but the quality of medicine and the growers I've met out here are all very high. A long time ago, there was a comedian, can't remember his name right now, I want to say it was Bill Hicks, but that could be wrong, that said, making nature illegal seems a little scary, doesn't it? Doesn't it seem like a little paranoid? So why would you make a plant illegal? I think everybody should have fair trade. Hemp is one of the biggest industries that we're ever going to have. Colorado in the next 5 years is going to be the wealthiest state in the nation. It's just with the excise tax on recreational, not a fan of that, but with the amount of revenue that the state can pull in, there's just nothing that we're going to have a problem with as far as our budget in this state. Colorado is the only medicinal state that made it an amendment to our Constitution as opposed to just a revised statute or a law or anything like that. So basically, as we all know in this country, constitutional rights are, carry the heaviest weight. And in Colorado, not only do we have medicinal constitutional protection anymore, we now have recreational. So basically, anybody that, at least at this point, that is a Colorado medicinal citizen can have cannabis on them without any fear at all in this state. Nevada, as much as they are behind the times, they were ahead of the times with how they did their licensing. I believe that the red card, which is what it's called, our medicinal license here in Colorado, it's about the size of a business license and is just not something that's easy to carry around with you, eventually fades, becomes a problem. It's just not something. Nevada did it right, where they actually had the DMV issue your medical marijuana cards, and it looks just like your driver's license, but where it says driver's license, it says medical marijuana patient. Not only was it scannable, easily to be used for all centers that you went to or anybody, because all you had to do was show them an ID that had all your information and your picture on it, not a red card that's a business license that somebody could have copied, blah, blah, blah. So I think as far as that, I think we could fine tune our, what CDPHE, Colorado Department of Health and Environment, is doing regarding our licenses. I think we could evolve there. The unfortunate thing is, if we go back to why cannabis has been banned, 1937, why we have prohibition, all the conspiracy stuff to it, it has a lot to do with big business. We're going to look at lumber, people that own thousands of acres of forests that were going to be turned into trees. Well, they stand to lose a lot of money if, cannabis all of a sudden is the new renewable thing. Energy. I mean, even Henry Ford built a car out of hemp in the 50s. It's one of the most indestructible cars ever. Was going to be a production car, but obviously, prohibition, they just didn't want any of that. Big business is going to keep it down. Colorado has got our foot in the door. I think that we'll slowly be able to start widening that. The politicians, I would just say, if you've never smoked cannabis, please don't say anything about it because you have no stance. You can't read stuff, I can't tell you how to be president just because I know what the president does. So don't tell me how a stoner is or how a medicinal patient is if you've never walked in our shoes. My hope is that Colorado is going to continue to blaze the way. I'm very interested in industrial hemp just for us as all the commodities it can provide. We can build houses out of renewable stuff. We have renewable energy, clothing, all sorts of stuff. Paper, we can quit polluting our streams for making paper. We can quit wasting so much looking for oil by just growing it. There's a lot of things we can do. I'm very interested to see what we'll do in the next 10 years now that Colorado has the legal. As far as medicinal and recreational, I know we're going to grow. Colorado has always seemed to get the foot in the door and then fix it, so we'll end up in a really good spot. Colorado's the place to be.